what a better way to break through the cold of the winter months than to come down to the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg here in Florida. Fantastic way to kick off the 2024 USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire season under the sun and what will be very warm temperatures today here for Saturday racing. Hello, race fans. My name is Rob Howden, joined by the driver ready to start his first USF Pro 2000 race. Last year's USF 2000 champion, Simon Sykes for Pabst Racing. Simon, I know how excited you were to start last season, your first full campaign in the USF 2000 car. You bump up the horsepower, you're into Pro 2000. How excited are you to roll off today?
I'm thrilled. You know, I spent a long time in the USF 2000 car, so to make the step up is a thrill in its own. You know, sometimes I thought I might never see this day, but it's finally here. I get to start my first USF Pro 2000 race today, and I really couldn't be more thrilled, and to do it with Pabst Racing is a dream.
Yeah, think back to September, the excitement, all the celebration, having won that championship, the one you fought so hard for, but all the work in the off-season, you guys have put in the time to be ready here.
We have, certainly. There's been a lot of testing and a lot of figuring out this new tire, the Continental. It's been treating us well, and we're having a good time trying to figure out all its quirks, trying to get it to go fast. So we're starting P7 today, but we'll see if we can make up some spots.
One of the interesting things for this race, it's been almost 24 hours since you guys have been on the racetrack. IndyCar's been out there a couple times, Indy next. You're going to be facing much different grip levels. What are your thoughts going out?
I'm ready for it, to be honest. We had the morning sessions yesterday, so we were the track sweepers for the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. So we were the first ones to see the track, clean it off, and then we qualified almost back-to-back on that. So new sessions before IndyCar ever touched the track, and now IndyCar will have had 2 practices on it before we get to go racing. So I'm sure the grip will be different, but at the end of the day, a race is a race, and we'll just have to figure it out.
The biggest field we've ever had in USF Pro 2000 since we took over the series in 2013. 22 drivers. You guys went clean and green through practice and clean and green through qualifying. I think that bodes well for how this race could start.
Absolutely. Obviously, you want it to go green start to finish. You don't want anyone to end up in the tight walls in the concrete around here at St. Pete. But I think it's really a testament to the field we have this year. It's such a strong field, and you see that with the qualifying times, the top to bottom. It's a tight field. There's a lot of good drivers, and I think it's going to be a good race. Everyone's going to be on their game, so it isn't going to be easy.
And you can't win a championship here at St. Petersburg, but you can put yourself in a hole for sure. What are your expectations? What's a target for you?
Target today will probably be a top 5. You know, starting 7th. Get inside the top 5 would be great. If we can reach even farther and go for a podium, that would be a dream of a day. We'll see how the race progresses, but just shooting to move up a couple spots.
So, ladies and gentlemen, race fans, the grandstands here are filling up with spectators. Before we head into the driver lineup, let's have a look at some of the rookies here for 2024. At the top level of the USF Pro Championships ladder, we always see some fantastic rookie drivers coming in each season, especially here at St. Petersburg. Always a lot of drivers graduating up from USF 2000. Of course, the champion from last year as well, Simon Sykes, getting ready to go as a freshman this year. But drivers coming in from different programs as well, down in Australia, in Europe as well. The rookie class, unbelievably strong, maybe the strongest rookie class we've ever had in USF Pro 2000. Let's have a look at a couple of the drivers who could be standing out here in 2024.
Well, I'm Nico Baptiste. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Colombia. I have been already 12 years in this sport. I started karting in Colombia after I did some karting here in US with Team Montoya. Then I make in Europe some karting, including the World Championship, the European Championship, and WSK. And then in formulas, I made the Italian F4, one race of the Spanish F4. And in 2022, I made the Formula Regional Europe. And well, last year it was kind of difficult because we couldn't find the budget. We were going to do the regional again, but well, we couldn't.
My name is David Morales. It's my first time racing in the States right now, doing Indy Pro 2000. I lived in England for 3 years, 3 years of racing out there in GB3 and Formula 4. So England is, I think, for me personally, the best training ground. And then, finally came back to the States.
Yeah, so I'm 20 years old from Ireland, the West Coast, based in Galway. Where I came from last year, I came from Europe, competed in the European Formula Regional Championship, as well as over in New Zealand in TRS, or what's now known as Formula Regional Oceania. So did a couple of rounds there. And yeah, decided to make the move over to the States this year because I just think the roadmap and the road to Indy and the scholarships that you have here, it provides a great opportunity for racing drivers and much more of a chance, let's say, to reach that top level over in the States.
You were very fast at the winter testing and, of course, at spring training at NOLA. What are your expectations coming into this weekend here at St. Petersburg?
Well, the expectations needs to be like high, so we are going to try to get the pole, try to make 2 podiums. But well, it's difficult, you know. All these guys have already driving here. They are really good. They are really talented. So it will be difficult, but that's the target.
I'm really, really excited. It's my first street course, my first time ever racing on something like this, where the walls are so close to me. But I think it'll be a lot of fun, and it doesn't look too difficult, but I can't say it until I run.
Any experience on street circuits like here in St. Petersburg?
None as of yet. So this will be a new experience for me. So we'll see how it goes. You know, I'm confident. Testing has went really well with the team so far, and they're doing a great job. I'm very, very comfortable in the team. It's probably the best I've felt so far in my career, so I'm very confident.
Irish-based team, Irish-based driver. If you're following from Ireland, this is the guy you want to watch.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Indeed, time to get things underway with the USF Pro 2000 Championship presented by Continental Tire, their first race of the 2024 season. Pre-show, of course, wrapped up. Good to take a chance to talk to the USF 2000 champion from last year, Simon Sykes from Pabst Racing. But as we get set to go for a potential 1150 command to fire the engines here, let's have a look at the grid of 22 drivers we have set to go here in USF Pro 2000. These drivers, this field, the biggest we've had since the start of the program in 2013. It is absolutely stacked with talent, top to bottom. 22 drivers set to go. Let's have a look at this as we get ready to get things underway. And indeed, row number 11, starting 22nd for Exclusive Autosport. He'll do a limited program here this year. A lot of testing happening as well. Driver out of Texas, Avery Towns for Exclusive Autosports in the number 95, starting in the 22nd position. Alongside him, rookie driver in the program from Greenfield, Indiana, in the Comet Racing Newcastle Motorsports Park, number 21, Logan Adams, starting in 21st. Just to 1.8 seconds separating the entire field of 22 drivers. Into row number 10 now, starting on the outside. George Garciarce, the Mexican, in the number 10 for D-Force Racing. Alongside him, his teammate from Brazil, Nicolas Monteiro, all D-Force on row number 10. Moving now up there into row number 9. On the outside, Shawn Rashid, the rookie driver for VRD Racing. He is going to do a full season in GB3 competition. We'll see him for a couple of races here with VRD, the rookie in the number 32, improving mightily from his practice to qualifying times. He'll start on the outside of row number 9 and 18th, and alongside him from Ireland for Turn 3 Motorsports, Adam Fitzgerald, the rookie, in the number 2. Up now to row number 8 on the outside from Bogota, Colombia for BN Racing, the team making its return to the USF Pro Championships here in 2024. Nico Baptiste, the rookie of the number 74, starting 16th. Alongside him, the American Hunter Yaney for TJ Speed Motorsports, Hard Rock on the side of the race car. Yaney driving the number 27. We'll go up to row number 7 right now. Good qualifying effort for the rookie Tyke Durst for Turn 3 Motorsports, the number 33 machine, qualifying in the 14th spot. Alongside him for TJ Speed Motorsports, the Florida pilot who spent most of his career running in Europe, back here in the USA for 2024. The rookie David Morales will pilot the TJ Speed Tatis number 28. Now up into row number 6. Starting on the outside, it will be Ethan Ho out of California in the Turn 3 Motorsports, number 68, last year running in the USF 2000 program, jumping up here as one of a large rookie contingent here for 2024 in USF Pro 2000. He'll start alongside another rookie, although he did have a start back in 2023, and a good one at that. Former USF Juniors champion, the Pride of Canada for D-Force Racing, Matt Clark, the rookie in the number 7, starting in 11th. Into the top 10 right now, starting on the outside of row number 5, Braden Eves, a former USF 2000 champion. He knows how to win here. He's done it several times here in St. Petersburg. For Exclusive Autosport, Braden Eves out of Ohio, starting on the outside of row number 5 with the number 92 machine. And on the inside, Jay Howard Driver Developments, Frankie Mossman, the California in the number 6, starting in 9th. Up now to row number 4, the Mexican Ricardo Escoto for BN Racing in the number 77. Solid qualifying effort for him. He and Simon Sykes, identical qualifying times, 1:10.647, and they will occupy row number 4. Simon Sykes, your reigning USF 2000 champion with the USF Pro Championship scholarship livery on the car. The driver out of Georgia lining up P7. Rookie for Sykes, going for the championship and Rookie of the Year. We'll go now up to row number 3 on the outside. Jace Denmark, a former winner here in USF 2000 on the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg streets. He's with Pabst Racing alongside Sykes. Jace Denmark, who joined me yesterday in the booth here for the USF 2000 race. He's going to start 6th outside of row number 3 in the number 20. Alongside him, the St. Petersburg resident, the driver so many are watching, just 15 years of age, from VRD Racing, a winner last year here in USF 2000. Nikita Johnson from Gulfport in the number 17, starting in 5th. We'll go now up to row number 2, and if there's a driver who's shown the ability here in the streets of St. Petersburg, it's Christian Brooks out of Santa Clarita, California for Pabst Racing. Brooks in the number 19, starting 4th. He's won here in both USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. Running for Pabst Racing this year outside of a row 2, the starting spot for Brooks, but expect fireworks out of him, trying to work his way forward. He'll start alongside Liam Skeets in that number 26 machine for TJ Speed Motorsports. Liam Skeets, the driver we know will be good, the New Zealander in the Tony Quinn Foundation Omega Rental Cars machine, coming off a big run down in the Formula Regional Oceania Championship, finishing 2nd there, winning the Grand Prix of New Zealand. He'll start 3rd in his debut. Liam Skeets, the rookie, inside of row number 2. 22 drivers in the field. We'll put 2 on the front row. Off pole, another 15-year-old driver moving up from USF 2000, Danny Dozelski, the rookie for Turn 3 Motorsports, and we'll lay it out here now. It is a Turn 3 Motorsport lockout of the front row, and as reported by Trackside Online's Steve Whittick, the 3rd straight pole position to start the season for Turn 3 Motorsports. Lockie Hughes on the pole position, rookie driver out of Australia, the number 44, one of the title combatants last year in USF 2000. Lockie Hughes in the 44, scheduled to start P1. Hughes and Dozelski on row 1, Skeets and Brooks on row number 2, Johnson and Denmark row 3, Sykes and Escoto row 4, Mossman and Eves on row 5, Clark and Ho row 6, Morales and Durst on row 7. We'll have Yaney alongside Baptiste on row 8, Fitzgerald and Rashid on row 9, Montiero and Garciarce on row 10, and Adams and Towns on row number 11. We are on a hold right now, folks. We were expecting to go with the command about a minute ago, 11:50. I think work being done on the racetrack. We had an event here. The IMSA event was on track before us. Took a little while to get things underway. So, in fact, we are potentially 9 minutes away. We're thinking potentially 12 o'clock noon here Eastern time, but we're going to be able to go for the command. So we got some time to fill, and excellent time to do that. I've got a driver with me right now from D-Force Racing, Quinn Armstrong out of Australia. He made his debut yesterday in USF 2000, 2nd last year in USF Juniors. Doesn't have the full budget together for 2024, but he's digging at it. And listen, Quinn, first of all, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Rob. It's always enjoy commentating. Driving's better, but commentating's pretty good as well.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Yesterday was reasonably successful as a rookie. You know, you can only take so much, I suppose. Being a street course as well, you've got to survive. That's really a big part of it. Just being there at the final lap is already, you know, going to prove a lot for yourself and for your experience. So,
and obviously you have it in your head, hey, I don't have the full budget together for next year. I know you guys are back in Australia working your tails off trying to find the sponsorship and the investors that you need to be able to move forward. You know, that in the back of your mind, you really had to kind of take care of the car for race number 1.
Yeah, for sure. Racing is not a cheap sport, as everyone knows. So, yes, you've got to take care of the equipment. And as you say, trying to find the budget to continue racing, because this is my dream. It's as simple as that. And I love racing cars. So that's really a big part of racing, is finding the budget to keep coming back and keep doing what you love every weekend.
Well, you're coming off a fantastic season. You had a great battle with your teammate and eventual champion, Nicholas Giaffoni, for D-Force Racing in USF Juniors last year. But your first opportunity to be here at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. What was the first session like? We have time here, so let's walk it through. What was the practice session? Luckily, USF Pro 2000 went out first. They cleaned the track off for you. But you did the track walk on Thursday. That first practice session, connecting the track walk to being in the race car. What was that like?
It was awesome. I mean, from the moment you walk in the gate on the Thursday is the coolest thing ever. I also enjoyed it a lot because it was my first time seeing my dad in about a month. He had been back home and I've been over here by myself. So just being with him, we went on the track walk with the team and it was awesome. But at the same time, it's so nerve-wracking of like, these walls are close and they don't get any further. They only get closer, it seems. So, it was a very long track walk, like a lot of going into deep detail about how things have changed from previous years and what can happen. And then, first practice, again, it's just about doing as many laps as you possibly can. Me being a rookie, first time on a street course, you just want to get comfortable. It's such a crucial part because it's not easy. It's not easy to get comfortable in between these walls. But I do believe we made the right steps in first practice, and it's something that then we built on during our qualifying that, I think we had more in the car and more in myself than where we did end up in qualifying, which is a little bit disappointing. But at the same time, I do think we had a good session in the sense that, again, we kept it off the walls. We kept learning, making change, and it just kept progressing forward, which is always what you want. You want it to keep going. And then, moving into the race,
Let's start. Let's take a quick break there. I like you said building, because I think that's one of the things that a lot of the rookies here, and this is why it's great to have you here as a rookie here in USF 2000. We can talk about the fact that there's 12 rookies as well in USF Pro 2000. I'm going to ask you a little bit about what it's like for these drivers to get on track, as we're seeing these drivers here right now. Liam Skeets right there. We saw Danny Dzelski. Skeets is going to start third. There's Christian Brooks in fourth. But you're really building throughout the entire weekend. You only have 4 chances to be on the racetrack. Practice, qualifying, race. You're 3 sessions in now. You can talk about how much you've built throughout the 3 opportunities to be on the racetrack.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not your typical weekend where you'll have like a pre-event test day purely based on this is a street course. Like, people drive their normal cars around these roads.
Or airplanes.
Or airplanes are landing. So thankfully they have it closed off this time. We're all right. But no, for sure. It's always just building. It's such a big thing, and you've just always got to have that in your mindset that no matter the result, where you are in the timing sheet, that you just got to learn. You got to continue to learn. I think for the Pro 2000 guys, it's good because they may be rookies in Pro 2000, but they may have had the opportunity to run this in USF 2000. So I think that helps for them as well. But then again, you look at some guys and they may have come from a New Zealand or a European racing schedule, and they may have not ran a street course yet. So it's always interesting, but hopefully they enjoy it as much as I have.
David Morales right there. I talked to him for TJ Speed. He's never been on the street circuit either. You go further back, Tyke Durst has not been on one. Adam Fitzgerald has not been on one. These are drivers who have never been on a street circuit before, so obviously key. Let's talk about your race a little bit. What was the mindset going into, obviously, the start? You did a lot of starts in USF Juniors last year, of course, but what was the mindset going into the start, knowing how wide the front straightaway is? I'll talk about that when we hit my keys of the race in a couple of minutes here, but it's so wide going into turn number 1, but it narrows down to 2 and 3. What were your thoughts? Because there was some chaos in the opening couple of laps.
Yeah, we had a lengthy chat before the race. We had plenty of time after quali to do exactly that. We went over some videos, and like you say, it starts out so big, and then it sort of bottlenecks down. And then it gets even tighter at turn 2.
Right.
So you get to a point where it has to go from you can be 5 wide to 1 wide. If you're 2 wide, someone's probably not going to have a good race.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is. It's a thing that you have to sort of have a bit of discipline within yourself to not just fire one down the inside.
Because it's so tempting.
Oh, 100%. You see a gap there, and the race car driver, you want to fill a gap. It's the job. So.
Here it is right here. You're seeing it on the screen right now. Those of you watching, of course, on the YouTube channel or on USFPro2000.com or our downloadable USF Pro TV app. This is turn number 1. And, again, you can see the line is easy to see. The rubber is there. But that inside looks so inviting when you're coming up into turn number 1.
Yes, it is. It's very inviting, but as soon as you get down there, you'll realize you wish you hadn't gone down there because there is no rubber.
Dirty, no rubber, paint. Paint's not the best gripping surface either. And so, yeah, so is your mindset completely coming in? Are they telling you on the radio, let's just get through cleanly?
100%. I link it back again to being a rookie. We're here to do as much laps, as much as, yes, we're working towards a result. To finish first you have to finish.
That's very true.
So that's definitely the biggest thing through turn 1 is you got to survive.
That's it.
Yeah, it's all fine and dandy if you can gain some positions, but you go for a move on 2 cars and all of a sudden you're in a wall.
Lockie Hughes right there for Turn 3 Motorsports, as I had said before. 3rd straight start to the season with a pole position. Turn 3 Motorsport locking out the front row. The beautiful livery there of the Turn 3 cars. Lockie Hughes from Australia, the number 44. He'll be the one that's feeling that pressure. He'll want to get that good jump coming to the line, but he's got his teammate Danny Jaselski alongside him. You know that Liam Skeets and Christian Brooks behind them getting set to go. That driver right there, Danny Jaselski, only 15 years of age, ran USF 2000 last year and had a strong run, a lot of top 10 finishes. Here's Liam Skeets, second earlier this year. The driver from New Zealand in the Formula Regional Oceanic Championship. We have a partnership with that program. And again, Liam doing a tremendous job down at that event. These drivers, of course, now this is the thing. You've done this before. We should be on the racetrack driving right now. We were going to call the fire at 10:50. Instead, we're finding ourselves here sitting on the grid. You've had races like this where it kind of got stopped. When you're on the grid, what do you do mindset-wise? Are you just talking on the radio? Because eventually you got to say, okay, now I need that countdown where I'm ready to go again.
100%. It's a battle against yourself,
yes.
I believe, because it's so easy to get caught up in all the what-ifs.
Mm-hmm.
And those are things that can really affect a race. So you've got to have it within you to be able to say, okay, breathe, be calm. We're going to go green eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
And you're buckled in. You're cinched down tight.
Exactly, yeah. So, sometimes you feel like you're really tight and sometimes then you can trick your brain into thinking like, oh, man, I can't breathe. Like, it's such a mental thing, but it's coming out of that, and that's where you really can prove to yourself that you can make it work and it can happen.
You mentioned being reunited with your dad here this weekend. You haven't seen him for a month. Do you want to give a shout-out to anybody else at home watching the broadcast?
Yeah, well, Mum said she would wake up nice and early to watch. So,
love it.
Yeah, I hopefully she's watching.
What about sponsors? Do you have some right now that are kind of on board with you right now, or are you guys is it kind of the family just backing things right now?
We're still at the stage where it's family, but we're working really hard to sort of just get the foot in the door. Really, I mean, being Australian, it can be a bit difficult to try and propose sponsoring something that's going on in a different continent. So that's for sure a big thing, and that's where I sort of look to the American market. But the problem is I really don't know that many people outside of the racing paddock. So that's for sure a big part of it, knowing the right people and finding the right people. But that's what we're working for now.
Quinn, one of the great things, we, of course, have always had a lot of Australian drivers coming up through this USF Pro Championship, the program formerly known as the Road to Indy. Will Power, of course, being one of the drivers who is at the very top of his game, later on in his career. So we need more Australians, obviously, coming into the program. They've a big fan base for the NTT IndyCar Series down under, and hopefully they'll see what you've done. Because really, what else could you do, right? Short of winning the championship last year, second place in points. You were a race winner early on. You won the first race of the season. So it was a great season for you last year. This year, what are we thinking about for race number 2?
Again, it's more of the same story, literally, of just like being calm, being collected, working your way forward. Because, as I say every time, you survive, you're probably going to gain positions at the best of times. So it really is just being smart by yourself. But at the same time, you also have to put a lot of faith in your competitors, the guys around you, because a lot of the time, your race is in their hands.
That's very true.
You've got to be sensible. Everyone has to be respectful. So hopefully we can continue that together and work our way forward again.
on a bit of a hold right now. I think 2 minutes and close, and we're getting ready to really roll here pretty soon with the command. Before we do that, let's have a look at the racetrack here right now. Those of you tuning in, of course, on the YouTube channel or USFPro2000.com or the app. This is a very interesting racetrack, as we all know. 14 turns, 1.8 miles. But one of the biggest things about this racetrack, of course, as we know, it's a temporary circuit, but there's streets, there's pavement, there's concrete in areas, it's bumpy in other areas. You're literally driving down an airport runway at one point as well. So that's one of the things about this racetrack. And Quinn, a mixture of different corners as well. You got some high-speed stuff. There's also some lower-speed stuff, some tight stuff in the back part of the racetrack. Then you're rolling all the way down from 8 through the kink turn 9 down to turn 10 where you're standing back on the brakes. This is a track that really throws a bit of everything at you drivers.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really cool track. I think the combination, as you say, of slow speed, high speed, you sort of breathe a little bit in the slow speed, then you get in the high speed and a wall is a centimeter away and you're going, oh, this is scary sometimes, you know, and I feel that I was sort of in a bit of a better position where I was in the mid sort of pack, but then, you know, I sort of look back to some of my teammates' videos like Lucas and Maxwell where they were sort of a little bit back and you sort of go, okay, maybe it's a little bit more hairy back there with those guys. So I'm sort of happy where I am and keep pushing towards the front.
Yeah, qualifying top 10 a little better. We saw the incidents on the opening lap happening further back. Let's wrap up. We're very close to getting ready to have the command to fire engines here. How important is getting through turn 14, that final hairpin onto the straightaway, to get a good lap here?
It's immense because it's as simple as the straight is really long at the end of it. So it's so crucial to get an exit, but then at the same time you find if you're braking too early and backing up too much, or you're sitting duck going in, no matter how good your exit is. So, but then as you say, yeah, you're vulnerable. So if you're getting a bad exit off of there the whole race, you're going to struggle to pass, and you're going to get past.
Yeah, one of the terms that we said yesterday was pass or be pass, as you just said. If you're kind of backing up a little bit, not aggressive, the guy behind you is going to be the guy that's going to make that aggressive move. So, indeed, folks, we are just a minute away from getting things underway. They were able to get the track cleaned up after the IMSA event. We had a little bit of carnage out there. They wanted to clean that racetrack up for the 22 drivers set to go here in the USF Pro 2000 program, again, presented by Continental Tire. And again, almost ready to fire things up here. Again, first race for these drivers here. They were on track yesterday for practice and qualifying, but have not yet gone wheel to wheel. We're going to see that here to start their 2024 season off. But before we do that, let's head down to pit lane right now for the command to fire. One of our guests from the Foundation Building Materials. Great to have them here with us to give us the command, Claudio Bifaretti.
On behalf of FBM drivers, start your engines.
And there you go, for the first time in 2024, engines coming to life for a main event, one of the two races here for the drivers in USF Pro 2000. You saw the pole sitter Hughes, Dzelski, there's Liam Skeets. Pick up the beautiful car there, very easy to pick up on track of Christian Brooks, then the 17 of Nikita Johnson, the local driver from St. Petersburg. Back to Jace Denmark, who joined me here in the booth yesterday. Then, of course, we go to Simon Sykes, the livery there, the scholarship driver winning the championship. As these drivers get to pull off the track, folks, let's have a look at my keys of the race, because there are three that I think are crucial to discuss here as we get set to go green this first time by. First and foremost, fast freshmen. The rookies looking very good. 22 drivers, 12 freshmen, 12 rookies. A rookie lockout of the front row, Lockie Hughes and Danny Dzelski. Then you got Liam Skeets, 3 rookies, 1, 2, 3. Sophomores are going to be aggressive if they want to find themselves on the podium. Next up, handling the IndyCar rubber. IndyCar, of course, getting on track after qualifying for USF Pro 2000. Say that they have not been on the track yet with IndyCar rubber. The first couple of laps are going to be an opportunity to get a feel for the rubber that is built up, because IndyCar has been out there for a significant amount of time. It's going to be much different than qualifying. And last but not least, I used this in USF 2000. I'll use it again today. We call it Treacherous Turn 1. It is going to be wild. The first start of 2024. Quinn and I discussed it. It's very wide open coming down into turn number 1. Very inviting on the inside, but it's dirty. There's no rubber. You got the painted lines on the airport strip. It is not a place where you want to be. It's hurt many drivers before. I talked to James Hinchcliffe in the paddock. He got taken out from pole 1 year here. A driver coming from the very tail of the field tried to go up the inside. Cleaned him out, hopefully. we won't see that here. Once again, Lockie Hughes and Danny Dzelski on the front row, Liam Skeets and Christian Brooks on row 2. My name's Rob Howden, the voice of the USF Pro Championship, USF 2000 driver for D-Force Racing. Quinn Armstrong joining me in the booth, and it's time to go racing. Looking forward to this one here. It's going to be a tremendous fight here as these drivers get set to go. Hughes and Dzelski, all rookie, all turn 3 front row. And again, everything goes out the window when the green flag flies. Thrilled to have IndyCar starter Aaron Likens up on the box with us here. We've got guests as well up there as part of the experiences we offer through this USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. And again, USF Pro Championship, the biggest field we've seen since taking over the series in 2013. They are lining up to get things underway. 2 by 2, 11 deep. And for the first time, no, we're being told potentially wave off here. No, yellow flag. They've waved it off. I thought we were going, but they waved it off. Not exactly sure why the wave off here, but indeed, we will go around one more time. So not quite sure what happened there. Looking like we were going to go green, but no, one more time around. And for the drivers, actually, good opportunity to kind of circle around here and get a little feel for the racetrack. The USF 2000 drivers went green immediately. This time they'll get a little more heat built into these Continental tires. The first race for USF Pro 2000 on the Continentals, a multi-year contract signed with that global brand in the off-season. Thrilled to be working with the good folks from Continental. Continental gold and black featured on all of our cars, of course in the paddock as well in their tire compound. Lockie Hughes, no stranger to starting on the front row, one of the title contenders last year in USF 2000, won his share of races. Didn't quite get the job done at the end of the year, finishing in third in points, but he knows how to win races. So the race control did not like how we packed things up. We weren't quite where we needed to be coming out of the corner there, turn number 14. Hopefully they'll do a better job packing themselves up and we'll be able to go green when they get back around. I believe they'll count this lap as well. 25 laps the distance, 45-minute time limit, and that first lap will count. Even though we didn't go green, I believe that first lap will be considered official. Everybody else working their way in. There's those blue-white machines for turn 3. On the front row, lining up at a 14. And now time to go racing. Side by side, it's time to do it for USF Pro 2000. Watch to the upper left of the screen. It's, there it is. Green, 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 and we are going racing. And Christian Brooks popping out from the inside or outside of row number 2. He'll go wide into there as they work their way in here now. Do they come through cleanly? A couple of drivers trying to the bottom. Thus far, clean. Can they do the same coming through turn number 2? As Quinn talked about, you can't go through there 3 wide. 2 wide's even sketchy. 3 even worse. It's very tight coming through that corner. For the first time out of 3 down to turn number 4. A couple of drivers running the defensive line down the inside. Everybody running clean so far. Matt Clark pushing hard, but you can see the scholarship car of Simon Sykes on the outside as he holds the spot. Opening lap here for USF Pro 2000. Through the back part of the racetrack here right now. Turns 7 and 8. Crucial double right-hander. This is when you get to the power down to bring you all the way down to turn number 10. Turn 9, a little kink in the long run down there by the bay. And here they come down cleanly. Oh, a couple drivers together further back. Matt Clark, I believe, one of them. Contact between 2 drivers. Opening lap coming out of turn number 9. So we'll go yellow early in USF Pro 2000, just as we did in USF 2000. 2 drivers are together. Caution here on the racetrack for USF Pro 2000. That was coming out of turn number 9. Not quite sure who it is right now, but out of 9 drivers, right? As they come through, we'll be able to see who's dropping down the order. Simon Sykes, the driver involved. Sorry for those of you who are cheering for Matt Clark. He's up into 11th. Back home, you're probably wondering what I'm saying. Simon Sykes and David Morales, I believe, the 2 drivers involved. And man, that's a tough one for Sykes. I believe he wrecked in the first race last year. Still was able to go on to win the championship. But that's going to hurt both Simon Sykes and David Morales. I'm not sure what kind of a shot we'll get in a replay on that because it is in an odd spot. Yeah, we'll be able to get a shot, but it's going to be way in the back. We'll have to kind of pick that out. But again, everybody's kind of scrapping for positions. They were really good, I think, through the first half of the lap. But indeed, didn't quite get that first one done. Listen, that's what it's all about, the first race of the season. Everybody pushing hard. It doesn't take much to lock wheels in these cars, especially you wonder whether or not someone was kind of side by side coming through the kink turn 9 and pinched down a little bit. A lot of the times we'll get that, right front to left rear contact when the driver trying to pinch on a corner. We saw that happen in the USF 2000 start yesterday. Those drivers will be back on the racetrack this afternoon, a 4:55 start for the back end of the doubleheader for USF 2000. The middle rung of the ladder system that is the USF Pro Championships. Starts off with USF Juniors. Those drivers anywhere from 13, 14 up to 17, 18, 19 years of age in the first rung of our program. AMR IndyCar safety crew has arrived on the scene, and we know how good of a job they do. 25 laps, the duration, or 45 minutes, the time limit. Simon Sykes and David Morales not liking the way their season started. Contact coming out of turn number 9. Hopefully we can have a look at the replay there. I know it's going to be far back, but we may get a shot to see kind of what happened. I have a feeling that it was Morales and then Sykes. They started, actually Sykes started in 7th. Morales started back in 13th, so Morales must have had a really good run. Again, working their way out of turn number 14, back onto the front straightaway here. So let's stack them again. How did things happen in the opening lap? Hughes, Brooks, Christian Brooks we saw pop out to the left from row 2, able to go up to 2nd. So a great start for Christian Brooks. He's already a winner here twice. Won USF 2000 a couple of years ago, won last year in USF Pro 2000. Liam Skeets hold on to a spot in 3rd. Big run for Ricardo Escoto. Started 8th. He goes up to P4, so he leverages the opening lap. Escoto for BN Racing up into 4th. Danny Jazelski from the outside of the front row back to P5. We'll look more at the top 10. But let's have a look at this, guys. It's not the best, but we're going to give you what we can in terms of the incident that happened coming out of turn number 9. It's fuzzy for sure, but watch them come through here. And I expect we're going to see contact right at the apex. So they're trying to go side by side. Oh, that's a hard hit for Simon. No, that's a hard hit for Sykes or Morales. Hard to pick up who had the biggest impact there coming over. Someone had some issues coming right down to the corner and went well off. So indeed, we are going to go red right now. And likely the reason for red is so we don't lose too many laps. We do our best to try to get as many race laps as we possibly can. So instead of just circulating around here now and burning out the laps, we do have a 45-minute time window. We'll go red. We'll bring all our drivers back into pit lane, and we'll restack them there. And that'll give the chance for the AMR IndyCar safety crew to get this cleaned up and then, of course, preserving the laps. We want as many race laps as we possibly can. Let's go back and look at the top 10 while we have a time here. Lockie Hughes, your leader. Brooks 2nd, Liam Skeets in 3rd, Ricardo Escoto and Danny Jazelski rounding out the top 5. Jace Denmark in 6th. Braden Eves, who started 10th, makes up a couple of spots. He goes to 7th. Nikita Johnson 8th, Ethan Ho 9th, and Frankie Mossman in 10th. Matt Clark runs 11th, Hunter Yaney in 12th. Tyke Durst and Nico Baptiste in 13th and 14th. Shawn Rashid 15th. Adam Fitzgerald 16th. Avery Towns, Nicholas Montiero, George Garcia Arce, and Logan Adams round out the top 20. And indeed, those drivers in the back, again, probably checking up a little bit. You know something could happen on the opening lap. So if you started maybe the back 5, you probably gave yourself a little bit of room knowing something could happen. And indeed, it did. Tough one for Sykes and Morales. We got the best we could out of the review there, but that driver went hard. Driver's right into the wall, not able to make the kink. So there's going to be significant damage, likely to both of those race cars. They'll be back. Of course, they have time. They have the rest of the day, but they are back on track tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So, yeah, not surprising to me. You see the forklift coming. That was a hard hit. And when the forklift comes out, it means we've moved the concrete blocks that are the walls. So take that as a little indication of the significance and the weight of the incident and the hit, the impact there for whichever driver nosed it straight in. Quinn Armstrong, our USF 2000 driver for D-Force Racing, 8th yesterday in the opening round for USF 2000. Probably didn't know you were going to do this much heavy lifting in the booth. As I'm going to come back to you to chat a little bit. Opening lap, listen, everything really happened behind you, but close quarters up front, right? The opening lap, you really got to be give and take. You want to get that spot. We all know the start's the best opportunity to gain positions, but you can also lose so much.
Yeah, it is. It's a tale of wins and losses, I suppose. You know, everyone wants the same thing. Everyone wants to win, whether you're in the back or whether you're in the front. Everyone wants to win, but it's how you go about winning or getting to the front, that really dictates not only just the race, but your championship as well. Because so much of it is if you make one wrong decision, it can mean bad things for a championship run.
So let's say that. There's skills that you have to have. There's skills in the hands. There's skills in the feet, what you do driving the car. But managing your mindset is always, I think, a big part that a lot of people don't talk about, the mindset of being a race car driver. Like you said, there are highs and lows. There are wins and losses every lap, right? You're counting those up. So we've heard the term red mist, right? You can have all the plans. This is what I'm going to do in turn one, but you're always having to adapt with what's around you. You put the visor down, things may change. How hard is it to keep that mindset of, listen, I came in with this race, this game plan, this strategy. When there's the opportunities there, how hard is it to hold back?
Oh, it's very tricky, for sure. I mean, I think I learned a lot of it last year. I think that was one of the positives that we took from last year from finishing second. You know, as much as I wish I won the championship, I've learned a lot purely based on the experience of making that wrong decision. You know, getting ahead of yourself. And then it comes back to bite you at the end of the year when, you miss out by those points. And you look back on it and you go, okay, well, those amount of points that I needed, well, had I have made this decision differently, that's where it was.
So I told you, I was talking to James Hinchcliffe earlier on. He was here in the Indy Next program when he was started on pole, got taken out by a driver further back who tried to dive in. And the thing James came right back with was, that happened in the first race. I had to fight all the way back, and I lost the championship by 1 point. You go back, you could gain those points back, but he scrapped that point that he lost in that opening round. Like you said, right? You learn more from your failures than you do your successes. To have that, you have to have that mindset that if it's a championship run.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a lot of people say there is no losses, there's only learning lessons. So, and I do agree with that a lot. It's so long as you have the right mindset, though. It's very easy to just have a loss, whether it be putting in a wall or whether it be losing 2 positions on a start. It's how you come back from that. That really dictates a lot of how the rest of the year goes and how the rest of your career you could even link it to, because it's how you learn from these mistakes, these things. That's really what changes your path. I
saw something earlier today, and it was the term fail, and that was first attempt in learning, which I thought was really interesting. The same thing you said, you're as a young driver, every time you make a mistake, whatever it may be, you get to come back and be a little bit stronger. It toughens you up when you make a mistake because you're learning a little bit more. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so many quotes for him, and it really proves to yourself that you're not the first person to go through this. It's very true.
It's, you may think, damn, this is really hard, because it is hard. But there's been plenty of people that have been in these situations before you, and not even just in racing, in life, things like that. So you've got to recognize that there's plenty of people that have turned around. There's nothing stopping you from, just really owning the situation and moving forward and really just having it in you to go, okay, this has happened. I can't go back in time and change it, but I'm going to make the next one better. That's exactly it. And just being told, folks, by Race Control, just to bring you up to speed, both drivers are okay, out of the car and fine, which is good. It was a very hard impact, as we know, but that's what these cars are designed for. And again, anytime we have an incident like this, shout out to the guys and the crew and everybody at Tatis, which builds the cars for our series. All 3 levels built by Tatis. We had the Halo put on a couple of years ago. That is already shown to be a huge safety factor in many of our events there in 2022 and 2023. So excited again to be with Tatis, and those cars, of course, unbelievably safe as well. Field back on pit lane, as we said. Lockie Hughes, the driver, was able to hold on to the lead. Christian Brooks doing a great job to work his way back up in to P2. Started 4th, goes to 2nd, so a good start for him on the opening lap. We did put 4 laps in, so we'll have 21 still to go. Again, work being done on the wall to get it put back into place after hard impact here. Simon Sykes and David Morales, the 2 drivers involved in the incident, coming in to turn number 9. Liam Skeets holding station in 3rd, the rookie driver. Ricardo Scotto jumping up into 4th. Danny Jazelski started on the outside of the front row. I often think outside of the front row, you're kind of a sitting duck here because you're getting the jump. Everybody else is diving around you. You want to make sure you don't jump start and get by the leader, so you may be off a little bit on the throttle. Further back, you may be a little early and you're okay. Jazelski holding on to P5. Jace Denmark in 6th. Braden Eves up to 7th. Nikita Johnson, winner here last year in USF 2000. He's in the 8th spot. Ethan Ho and Frankie Mossman rounding out the top 10. So still lots of time to go in this one here.
Rob Howden here alongside Quinn Armstrong. So, again, waiting for things to get back underway. You can see the AMR IndyCar safety crew cruising around there. In the back part of our shot here, I'm expecting that's going to be the final car. We did see one car already brought in. Anytime you see the car with maybe the plastic, they call it the diaper underneath, there's an opportunity potentially for an engine issue or maybe damage to the gearbox. You want to make sure that none of that gearbox oil ends up on the racetrack. So this will be the second car coming in. The work still being done on the wall itself. Yep, there's that car coming in. I don't see a diaper underneath that machine. That's Simon Sykes' car, so likely the most damage to David Morales. That's the USF Pro Championships liveried car of USF 2000 champion from last year, Simon Sykes. An inauspicious way to get things underway for the champion who has very high hopes for 2024. But as I said before, I believe he was in an incident at the start of race 1 last year, but still was able to go on to win the championship. It's something I've said many times, Quinn, and it's interesting, is that everybody wants to win the first couple races of the season. You want to win at St. Petersburg. But I went back and kind of looked at the results from 2021, 2, and 3, and the drivers that won in USF 2000 did not go on to win the championship, which is, I think, a very interesting stat for the last couple of years. A little different potentially here in USF Pro 2000 as we've had some guys do extremely well and go on to win the title. And again, your mindset's a bit different, but you're thinking about learning, right? This is your first year in USF 2000. You still don't have your full season locked and loaded, but obviously I think already a great opportunity to learn, and I think from what you did yesterday, you're going to be able to apply that for what's going to happen later on today.
Yeah, for sure. Again, building on what we've learned, it's so crucial. I'll say it again and again, this whole time, that there's never a point in racing where you have nothing to learn. I can say that on everyone's behalf.
Very, very true.
I can say that pretty confidently that even Max Verstappen, who is dominating everyone, I'm sure, that he is still rocking up to the track, doing something different, trying something different, and learning that it may work or it may not work.
Let's take the opportunity to talk about your team, D-Force Racing. They have won championships before in our series. And I know that I've had a chance to go on a track walk with the team on a number of occasions. And, you've got some pretty impressive people there. These track walks, when you're walking around the track, you hear track walk, but, man, you guys really dive into every corner, how you approach it, where you're going to roll on speed. Talk a little about your team, D-Force Racing, and how great they've been for your career.
I mean, they've been my career in cars, really. I started with them, and I've stayed with them since, and for me, there's never really been a time that I've gone, I need to go somewhere else, because it's always been such a good atmosphere, I feel, to be in it. They've made me feel like I belong there, even though it's such a diverse team, there's Mexicans, Brazilians, Americans, Canadians, and now Australian, like myself.
Yep.
But you still, everyone seems to work in so well with each other. That's really such a big part of it. That, okay, we've had different childhoods and things like that, but it still works. So that's for sure a big part in my mind, that it just works.
Yeah. You know what? I hear that a lot for D-Force Racing, the word family. They bring that up a lot. Very diverse lineup of drivers. And as you see, racers have came back onto the track. Awesome job by the track staff to get this facility, this race course, back where it needs to be. So, again, 4 laps will go down. When they come back around, it'll be lap number 5. Not sure where we are in terms on time. This could come down to a timed race, as I said. Quite a bit there rolling through as we brought those cars into pit lane for the red flag. But, again, hard impact. Glad to hear nothing wrong with Simon Sykes and David Morales. The teams will now go to work. They're back on track early tomorrow morning for their second race. So, lots of work to be done on both those race cars to get them repaired and back out here once again. So, we'll have 20 drivers come back out here to take the green once again. Hughes, Brooks, Skeets, Escoto, and Dozelski will be the front 5. It'll be a single file restart. And again, one of the things about this, and we talked about it with Quinn, it's a long straightaway here to turn 14 down to turn 1. Sometimes starting on the pole to restart, you're kind of like a sitting duck. Same thing with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's such a long run all the way down into turn number 1 when you're running the road course there. It'll be a necessary jump for Lockie Hughes to make sure he keeps Christian Brooks at bay. He'll likely defend to the inside. Whatever you do, don't spin the tires. Try to roll on the throttle. You get the jump, and here they come out at turn number 14. We're going to see the green flag flying already. And again, we are now underway once again. Back at it here. Green flag flying, and a good jump for Lockie Hughes. Nicely done for the Australian rookie. Can he hold it down into position? He does. He'll come through. Brooks into second. Skeets running in third. Escoto still fourth. A couple drivers further back looking to potentially make a move to the inside. Otherwise, everybody clean and green so far. So through the opening couple of corners. Again, tires have been cold. They've been sitting on the pit lane for a bit, even though it is 80 degrees here. Trackside quite humid with a little bit of breeze here on a Saturday now afternoon in St. Petersburg, Florida. Through the tight section back part of this racetrack, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They'll come through turn number 6, turn 7 and 8, the right-hand box, essentially the back part of the racetrack, out of turn number 8. Here, the kink, turn number 9. That's where the incident happened between Morales and Sykes. This is the first run down to the heartbreaking turn number 10. You really have to watch this corner, as we know. Here's a move further back coming down the inside. That's a strong run, I believe. That might have been Baptiste or Yaney making a move to the inside there. Might have been Hunter Yaney, I think, making that move. Again, we'll reset them when they come out to see if we had any overtakes in this opening circuit. Everybody else just doing their best to get those tires up to temp. I was told that a driver would be coming into pit lane, potentially number 33 having an issue, potentially coming in to get a tire. Yeah, Tyke Durst had to make a pit stop, an issue with him, so Durst having to come in. Other than that, yeah, Hunter Yaney able to get by Frankie Mossman. That was the move up to 11. So that move to the inside. Yaney by Mossman trying to work his way back up into the top 10. That spot currently being held by the rookie Ethan Ho. So drivers got kind of settling things down. And again, it was just the one incident there, although side by side coming through. Oh, that was tight. That was Mossman trying to hold off Nico Baptiste. Trying the outside at turn number 4. Quinn, that is not an easy place to make a pass. Try to go on the outside of turn 4. I think you're rolling the dice a little bit.
Yeah, I would say it's rolling a dice that is going to land on nothing. Like, it's so tight. It bottlenecks again down there, and it just gets, the grip gets less and less and less and less as you stay out there. Look, if you make it work, you're going to be really happy with yourself, but if you don't make it work, you're really going to be kicking yourself.
Low percentage.
Yeah, it's a low percentage move.
Both drivers able to get through this time. Baptiste checked out of that one. We did see a couple passes coming through that corner, then diving into the inside of turn number 5. But nonetheless, not going to happen, trying to hang the outside of turn number 4. Here's a side-by-side run through turn number 1 over to 2 here as well. That, I think, a little further back. Up front, it's now a 1.1 second lead for Lockie Hughes. He's been able to pull away early. Look at the scrap further back. Defense to the inside. That is a good scrap there. That's Braden Eves going at it, I think maybe with Nikita Johnson. Although that's a D-Force driver behind him. That might be Matt Clark. I think Johnson may have got by Eves trying to pick this up coming through. Yeah, there's Johnson in the 19, so Eves has moved back a spot. Moved Johnson up into 7th. Braden Eves back into 8th, and he's doing his best to now defend from Matt Clark. So that's the battle just outside the top 5. Another one of the great opportunities to pass down here into turn number 10. Here we go again. Look to the inside. No. That was Yaney potentially looking inside of Ho. That was a battle for 10th. So Hunter Yaney, a driver on the move here right now, trying to get himself forward. Started 15th. Got a couple of spots, obviously, for the incident that took 2 drivers out of the race. He's raced his way up a couple. So Hunter Yaney for TJ Speed Motorsports, the American, now into 11th. A couple years in FIF3 for Hunter Yaney. Great to have him back here as part of the USF Pro Championships battle. Oh, there's a scrap right there. There's a move. Big move to the inside. I think that might have been Nikita Johnson again. There's Brooks, Skeets, Skoto, Zazelski. Actually, I think it might have been further back. We're seeing some good racing here in the USF Pro 2000 category. As I said at the start of the broadcast here, the largest field we've had since we took over the series in 2013. Back then, in 2012, it was known as the Star Mazda Championship. They elected to shut that program down. Anderson Promotions elected to pick that brand up and add it to the USF 2000 program, which actually debuted here 15 years ago. 2010 was the first year we had USF 2000 here. A young driver named Sage Karam sweeping the weekend in USF 2000. But again, this program went through Pro Mazda, Indy Pro 2000, now to USF Pro 2000. Oh, driver's gone off to the inside of the racetrack there, pushing hard. That might have been a Skoto. No, he's across the line already. We'll find out which driver went to the inside. That could have been Jace Denmark. He's falling down the order. Yeah, Denmark falling all the way down. Not sure what happened with Denmark. How about 3 wide to turn number 1? Hold your breath for this one. 3 wide out of 1 over to turn number 2. driver down the inside. You have to watch. If you're on the inside there, you get into that curbing, it's going to shoot you up and in the air. A lot of racing there. So Johnson goes up to 6th, Eves to 7th, Clark 8th, Ho 9th, Yaney 10th, as Denmark falling all the way down to the tail of the field in 20th. Another one of the Pabst cars in trouble. And here's another side-by-side run through 5, 6, and 7. Why not? Quinn, what do you think about side-by-side through turns 5 and 6?
Pretty scary.
I like it. I think those are the words I would use as well. You don't normally see that happen when a driver's here starting to get aggressive. Some of these drivers trying to work their way forward and really starting to roll it down. This is, again, the top rung of our ladder, the USF Pro Championships. Many of these drivers have come up through USF 2000. They have significant time navigating these streets and airports, strips of St. Petersburg, so they know where to take advantage. And, again, we're working our way into lap number 10 now. They put 10 down, lap 11 starting. Again, unsure whether or not we're going to be going to a timed race at this point here. The board on top here we're watching still says 25 laps, so they haven't flipped over yet to the timed race. Shawn Rashid having a good run up into 12th. He's one of the drivers further back there, pretty aggressive. Shawn Rashid, who was at the very tail of the field in practice, but then found almost a full second in qualifying, moving his way up nicely. Shawn Rashid up into 18th in qualifying. He has already got his way now up into 12th, so a good run so far for Shawn Rashid. And again, there's Brooks and Skeets, 2nd and 3rd. 4th place driver Escoto, 5th Deselski, 6th is Johnson, 7th Eves. As they work their way back over here to turn number 10. Drivers kind of settling in. You see the gap, but here comes a fight further back. Another move to the inside. Hunter Yaney has used that move to the inside of turn number 10. That is, I believe, his 3rd pass there. I think he goes to the inside of Ethan Ho. Yaney, what a drive right now for Hunter. Started back in 15th. I think he's up to P9. That is a solid advancement in a field of this size. Driver to the inside coming down into 1. I don't know if that was a defensive move or a potential issue for one of the drivers slowing into the corner. That, I think, potentially maybe Danny Jazelski. Driver slowing coming down there. So contact with Jace Denmark puts him off the track, and being told that number 2 of Adam Fitzgerald potentially went off and turned into the runoff of turn number 10. So a couple drivers falling down the order, Fitzgerald and Denmark. So we have, I believe, 18 drivers still on the racetrack, but we've seen a lot of action there. Potentially, there's trouble. Dezelski could be front wing damage, to be honest. We'll watch him. He's getting challenged right now by Hunter Yaney. So Danny Dezelski, the turn 3 driver, dropping back a bit. Here comes Hunter Yaney to the inside once again. Now the front wing doesn't look too bad there for Dezelski, but he's definitely falling back. Another pass to the inside potentially coming here. There's a move inside, I believe, the 68 of Ethan Ho. Mossman in the J. Howard driver development number 6 diving up the inside as well. Turn 10 has kind of been the place everybody's leveraged thus far. We haven't seen a lot of passes down into turn number 1. It's been turn 10, getting through the 7-8 complex, as I said, getting that power down early. That's where you kind of it is the payoff. If you can get out of turn number 7 and 8 cleanly, you get a better run early to the power, better run down. You can go to the inside into turn number 10. A lot of overtaking happening there. Let's reset the top 10 for you here. Hughes leading now by 2.8 seconds. Lockie Hughes looking to win on his debut for turn 3 motorsports, and in the USF Pro 2000 category. Christian Brooks 2nd, Skeets 3rd, Escoto and Johnson have held station. That's where they've been in the top 5 for majority of the race. Braden Eves now up into 6th spot after the issue with Dezelski. Oh, another driver, Avery Towns, not able to get through. Turn number 4 is on the outside. We talked about that, electing to head to the runoff room there for Towns, who was running 15th. But Eves up to 6th, Clark to 7th, Yaney now 8th, Mossman 9th, and Ethan Ho holding on to 10th. Hopefully we'll see Avery Towns able to get back around and onto the racetrack once again. Overcooked it coming into 4. Was kind of getting pushed up the inside there by George Garciarce and Tyke Durst. Electing, there he is right there. So yeah, able to continue. Good job for Avery. He's only running a limited amount of events here in 2024. Going to do a ton of testing on the season to prepare for a full program in 2025. I like that idea for the young driver out of Texas. Hughes trying to win from pole here. Again, the bonus point for winning from pole. Fast lap of the race, another bonus point. Most laps led. He's got that done already, as we're now into 13, so he's already got that bonus point as well. He's, I think, no, the fastest driver so far, maybe Nikita Johnson. 1:10.656, Nikita Johnson for VRD Racing in the number 17 P5 right now, fast lap of the race. There's a little extra bonus point for him as they run on the racetrack. 12 laps still to go. We're past the halfway point for USF Pro 2000. Lockie Hughes out front. Again, Lockie Hughes went head-to-head with Simon Sykes for the first half of the 2023 season in USF 2000. Had some issues at Mid-Ohio. That's where the wheels kind of fell off the wagon there. An incident with him, and then an issue in the race following after the damage to the car set him on the sidelines on the formation lap. That kind of opened the door for Simon Sykes to walk away with the championship. But this kid is a talented driver for sure. We'll give a shout-out to the Hughes family back home in New Zealand right now. Everybody digging in, as we know. I said New Zealand, I mean Australia. I always do. Listen, you got to come in here, Quinn Armstrong. He's a fellow Aussie. What? I make that mistake a lot.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
And people don't like that, do they?
No. Oh, maybe some other
Let's
people.
be real.
But I'm not too bothered by it. Look, a lot of people, it's always used when like people like Scott McLaughlin, people refer to him as an Aussie sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's a New Zealander. But it gets confused. Look,
well, it's not like I called Lockie's races all last year.
Look, you can say close enough.
True enough. The driver from the Southern Hemisphere. That will cover everything.
Yeah,
for me,
that'll
right?
work.
I love it. Yeah, so pardon me. Australia for Lockie Hughes. We do, again, it's been a great thing that we've had. We've had a lot of drivers from Australia. We mentioned, of course, Quinn here as well. A number of drivers from New Zealand have come to be part of our program as well. A lot of drivers from the Southern Hemisphere. As I said, we got full course yellow. Full course yellow at start finish. Not sure what's going on here right now. Being told potentially turn number 8. Driver number 32, Shawn Rashid, in the tires of turn number 8. Tough one for Shawn. He was having such a good run. It worked his way from deep. There he is right there. Coming into that corner. I think I was calling that turn 7, but those final couple of corners on the racetrack just overcooked it coming in there into the tires. How easy is that to do, Quinn? You're trying to roll. It's so important that those two corners, right? To get through there, to get that big run out on to over to turn number 10. How easy is it to maybe get in there too quick?
It's very easy, I would say, on your own. And then, I mean, obviously we haven't seen the replay yet, but whether someone has sort of forced a little bit of a nose in there, then it's pretty much game over for the guy on the outside. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, even on your own, it's a mission to go through there as fast as you possibly can. And it's, of all the corners on the track, turn 7 there and the next corner, turn 8, that's where it really becomes a street course. You know, they talk about this being a little bit of a hybrid in the sense that, I mean, the runways, you can go 5 wide.
Yeah.
And then it narrows down a lot through here. So, yeah, it really is tricky.
So that begs the question. I think one of the things here we see in a lot of the parts of this racetrack, we talked about fast corners and slow corners. I think a lot of it for you guys, especially when you're kind of setting up for the corner, it's the precise turn-in, right? If you miss that turn-in point, you can't get back to the apex. That's when you're out of the groove. I think a lot of the issues we've seen turn 4 is when a driver just doesn't get that turn-in correct, maybe over brakes a bit, gets past the turn-in, and then you're in a ton of trouble when you're out of the grip.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously being a street, normally they build streets as a little bit of a crest so that the water can run off. But it means is if you don't get in on that camber towards the inside, your normal speed that you may run through there at, all of a sudden it's a lot harder and you may end up in the wall. And then at the same time, it's very easy to be too early and then just tap the inside wall, but that will send you straight.
That's a turn 3 issue.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the crown of the road, right? That's a huge thing when you're running a street circuit. The crown of the road designed to make sure the water all fades off into the outside. And like you said, if you're on the other side, it's essentially off camber. You almost have a banked corner on the inside with the crown. When you tip yourself up over top, it's actually off camber, and it's going to send that car off the racetrack again.
Yeah, it's very tricky. It's one of the things that we go into very deep detail on the track walks because, yeah, you start off camber. So the start of the turn in the corner is going to feel pretty bad a lot of the time. But then you get over it, and then it feels really good. But it's finding the sweet spot.
That's it.
That's what you got to do, and that's how you get, the faster laps.
AMR IndyCar safety team on the scene as you see. They'll get the car of Shawn Rashid up on the hook. He falls down to 18th, exactly where he started. So, again, let's have a look at the top 10 as we are once again in a yellow flag situation. I don't think that we'll go red for this one. Here's a good possibility that with the 9 laps still remaining, we'll continue to circulate here. Lockie Hughes, your leader, that 2.8-second lead disappears. That is one of the things that we didn't kind of bring up. When you're a leader like that, you pulled out into a lead. The last thing you want to see is a yellow flag, because Lockie had done a great job pulling away. Almost sets the fast lap, just 0.003 of a second slower than the lap of Nikita Johnson, who still has that bonus point right now. Hughes your leader, Brooks second, Skeets in third, Escoto fourth, Johnson fifth, Eves now sixth, Clark seventh, Yaney up into eighth. Hunter Yaney started in 15th. He's made some great passes. He's benefited by drivers having issues. Up into eighth for the TJ Speed driver. Frankie Mossman now in ninth. And Ethan Ho rounding out the top 10. Some drivers starting further back, staying out of trouble, really benefiting right now. Nico Baptiste, 11th. Nicholas Montiero in 12th. Logan Adams, who started down in 21st. He's currently running 13th. George Garcia-Arce in 14th. Tyke Durst, Adam Fitzgerald, and Avery Towns round out the 17 drivers that remain on the racetrack right now. At this point, still have not been told at all yet that we're going to potentially a timed race. Again, 45 minutes, as I had said. That's a long time limit for our drivers here. 25 laps or 45 minutes. So, again, behind our pace car here are the drivers in USF Pro 2000, the first of 2 races. The doubleheader here at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, starting off the 2024 season. All of our drivers will now head to NOLA Motorsports Park in early April. We'll have the USF Juniors drivers, the young pilots of our program, joining our USF 2000, USF Pro 2000 drivers at that event. Of course, all the coverage throughout the season available on the USF Pro Championships app. If you haven't downloaded that yet, live timing, all the live coverage. My USF Pro Insider podcast is on there. All the episodes of our documentary, The Climb, which we're restarting here for 2024. A fantastic mini documentary that our crew produced last year. Great way to get up close and personal with all of our drivers. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, I would say get on that. Get that app downloaded. You'll be able to follow all of our races. And, of course, you'll also be able to tune in on USF Pro Championships, the YouTube channel, the app, and each of this series' websites. We have a live timing page there as well with live timing and live coverage. 17 laps in. They'll put 18 laps in the books when they come back around. Looks to me like that pace car trying to get on the throttle a little bit. That tells me we may be going green flag this next time by. So we could have ourselves a 7-lap dash. And again, Hughes, that 2.8-second lead he had, goodbye. Christian Brooks wringing the hands like, all right, one more shot at it. Hughes was able to get a good jump last time coming out of 14, and watch him as they stack in. There you go, up top corner. Looks like we are now going to a timed race. 9 minutes and 40 seconds at the top left corner of the screen. We'll see whether or not that clicks down once we go across the line. Good start here for Lockie Hughes, as once again they'll roll their way down into turn number 1. Liam Skeets down to the inside. Big block move to try to hold off Ricardo Escoto. Hughes is going to hold the spot. Escoto deep into the corner. He gets it done. Book it. Ricardo Escoto through to P3. So up to third for Escoto. Good start there for him. Johnson now going to work on Liam Skeets. Tough one. Like we say, the restarts are an excellent opportunity to overtake, whether there or a big move down into the corner here at turn number 4. You can see drivers fighting further back there. There's a side-by-side run. One of the VRD drivers going at it with a turn 3 motorsport machine. They're side-by-side as well. That's actually the BN machine of Nico Baptiste going at it, I believe, with Ethan Ho. So hardcore racing for the final spot inside the top 10. Drivers back at it, getting that mind right to go to work here. We were told potentially a driver has gone off in turn number 4, maybe in the tires. That might be the 33 of Tyke Durst. We're still green right now. No, and here comes the yellow again. So on the restart, Tyke Durst in the number 33 has put it in the tires in turn number 4. So just as we got going, we are full course yellow again. There it is, turn number 4. So easy to do. I'm sure we'll get a replay of that, or hopefully we'll get a replay of that. I don't want to say for certainty that we'll have an opportunity to get that, but we may. Tyke Durst going off in turn 4. It's happened a couple of times to us this weekend. I'm sure will happen throughout the weekend here with the additional racing still to come. It's an easy thing to do. Quinn, of course, talked about that a little bit already. AMR IndyCar safety crew arriving on the scene. I don't know that there's going to be a ton of damage there right now. Again, I talk about it, Quinn, the restarts being an opportunity to overtake, but you can also make a minor mistake. You wonder whether somebody maybe was down on the inside of him there. The bottom line is we talked about it right before the yellow. If you're not in the right place, if you have not got that car pointed down to the apex, not hard to lose that grip and find yourself in the tires on the outside of the track.
Yeah, it gets very tight, and I think that may have been what happened, just a bit of ambition over adhesion, I suppose, as they call it. But
I've never heard that before. I got to write that down.
I just want to say one thing, actually, a little bit off topic, but this AMR safety team is the best in the world.
That's it.
I watch plenty of racing. Like, if I'm not racing, your best bet is I'm watching some. And I'll tell you what, the amount of races I watch where there is no racing because there's been an incident on lap 1 and they take too long to get a car out of the wall, whatever it may be, the guys and girls down at AMR, they all deserve a well and truly big pat on the back because, I mean, look at that. The car's already out of the wall. They're already, on it. They're straight on it. They're straight on the scene. They get the job done. And it really means a lot to us race car drivers. Maybe not if you're in the lead. You may want the race to be over already. But it really does because you want to drive. Everyone wants to race, So what they do makes it so much better. And I have to point that out because I'm always watching and I see what they do compared to what everyone else does, and it's second to none.
And look how quickly this is done. Again, a huge positive that we have in the USF Pro Championships is our, of course, relationship with IndyCar that provides us with the AMR IndyCar safety team. They got this thing back. Look at this. Already 1 to go at the start-finish here. We're going to be going back to green flag this next time by. Pits now closed, our 5-lap rule, so nobody allowed to go into the pits here to wrap things up. If you're in, you're in. But again, as Quinn said, it's just such a fantastic addition to our program to have the AMR IndyCar safety team there. Not only do they know our drivers, they know our race cars if something were to happen. They are so quick to the scene to get things underway. I always go back and talk about an incident that happened in Toronto a number of years ago when Harrison Scott ended up coming into the end of the back straightaway, got up in the air, was upside down, and he literally would tell us he doesn't think he was even done sliding on the roof yet before he saw the feet of the guys from the AMR IndyCar safety crew running from their position. They were there immediately, and when he stopped, they got him cleaned up, and of course, we're right there to take care of our drivers. So not just the ability to get the incidents cleaned up so we can go back to green flag racing, because that's what it's all about. You guys need green flag racing, not cruising around under a yellow, but also them being here, the level of care that they're going to give to any drivers that get into an incident. They know our cars inside and out, so when things happen, they're able to fully dive in, assess the situation, and take care of our driver's safety. Again, one of the huge positives, the benefits of the USF Pro Championships, one of the things that we have over a lot of other organizations. You mentioned the expediency they have of getting these incidents cleaned up. Now, I'm sure, as you said, Lucky Hughes would have liked to have seen a long yellow to wrap things up, but indeed not happening right now. We will be going back to green flag racing when they come back around. 20 laps in the books. We saw the time limit there before we went, so ideally we'll see that clock come back up to see where we are in terms of the event itself. But again, Lockie going to go down to the inside here. Christian Brooks trying to see if he can't play the games, staying in the gearbox right there as well in the mirror of Lucky Hughes. And I think he may have got a good jump this time. Green flag flying once again. Here we come. Yeah, Lucky knows he's got to go down to the bottom of the racetrack this time. Christian Brooks has won here in both USF 2000 and USF Pro. Does he make a move to the inside, or does he try the outside? Coming around in turn number 1, not quite enough. Escoto has gone to third on that last lap, holding his position, and Lucky Hughes has defended here again on a restart. Lockie showing everything he needs to do to score the victory here today as Christian Brooks very aggressive. Escoto having to dive down the inside as well. Nikita Johnson from P5 trying to find a way by Liam Skeets. So expect these last couple of laps to be hectic. A driver has gone off further back of the track. Not sure which that was, off in turn number 4, but not into the barrier, off into the runoff. So that will not bring out a yellow flag. Again, wondering whether or not we're on time or on laps. I don't know as of yet, but Hughes is out front. Things are looking good here so far for Lucky Hughes. He has defended multiple times off of restarts. Christian Brooks just not quite enough. And again, a P2 position still would be good for Brooks. Escoto, Skeets, Johnson, top 5. Eves, Clark, Yaney, Mossman, and Ho cap off your top 10. Look at the fight here further back as well. That is a good scrap between Baptiste and Ho. That's for the final spot in the top 10. There's a number of drivers going at it. Yeah, how about this? Big move to the inside further back. That's actually 11th and 12th. Those are teammates, I believe. Montiero and Garcia Arce going at it. Everybody digging in. And I like the fact that the drivers in the back getting really good seat time, working hard together. Here's a really good scrap. That is literally 10th back to 16th right now as they are fighting it out. You can see them going at it. Oh, big move to the inside. Big block to the bottom, and the driver's gone around. That's the 77 around. Scotto, the BN machine spinning. He's going to be right in the middle of the racetrack. Field has rolled through. Hopefully he'll be able to get this thing fired and out of the way. He's right in the middle of the track. We are still green, so we're racing until we see the yellow. He's just trying to get that thing back in gear. Another driver coming through. Scotto spinning from third. It's going to put Skeets back up onto the podium, and P3 is Scotto falling back into 16th. Again, waiting to see whether or not we see the yellow. It all depends on if Scotto can get that thing righted and back, working its way around the track. Look at the gap that Hughes already has. Lockie Hughes is good. White flag flying this time by. This will be it for the drivers in USF Pro 2000. Lockie Hughes looking to win in his USF Pro 2000 debut. Those of you up early in Australia, I'm sure you're pumped for this one. Can he bring it home? A multi-time winner last year in USF 2000. Actually won at least one race of the first 4 events on the year. Yellow flag is out. Scotto doesn't go anywhere. Lockie Hughes will take the victory as yellow flags fly. Hughes with the win. Brooks in second. Skeets in third. So Ricardo Scotto did the best he could after looping coming out of turn number 4. You wonder whether or not there was contact there as well. I don't know if we can get a replay of that spin for Ricardo Scotto. He had made a great move on Liam Skeets to take over third and get himself up onto the podium in BN Racing's return to the series. But not quite as he went around. And, of course, bringing out the final yellow as the drivers raced as well as they could. Nikita Johnson goes up to 4th as a result. It's a top 5 finish for Braden Eves. Matt Clark finishes up in 6th. Hunter Yaney in 7th. Frankie Mossman 8th. Nico Baptiste in 9th. And Ethan Ho rounding out the top 10 as Baptiste was able to get by Ho. Great run for Nico Baptiste, the Colombian, having a solid drive up into the top 10. Started in 16th, ends up 9th. Ethan Ho rounding out the top 10. So field cruising around at caution speed, and this driver here, a nice, slow, leisurely run to the checkered flag as Lockie Hughes, Turn 3 Motorsports, going to win here in the opening round of the 2024 USF Pro 2000 Championship presented by Continental Tire. A flag-to-flag victory. He did not get the fast lap. That still belongs to Nikita Johnson, a 1:10.626 to a 6:29. 3 thousandths faster for Nikita Johnson to steal that bonus point away from what would have been a perfect race so far. Qualified pole, most laps led, win. You need to have that final bonus point to pull the full 33. So indeed, checker flag flying here at start finish. Let's give you the rundown. Hughes, Brooks, Skeets, Johnson, Eves, Clark 6th, Yaney 7th, Mossman 8th, Baptiste 9th, Ho in 10th, Garciarce 11th, Montiero 12th, Logan Adams 13th, Towns 14th, and Adam Fitzgerald going to wrap it up here in 15th position. There are your unofficial results. Lockie Hughes, Christian Brooks, and Liam Skeets going to work their way up here. Lockie Hughes is a rookie. The R not on the side of his car, so a rookie here, a couple of rookies on the podium. And again, we'll wait for those drivers to come back around. These drivers here, the ones at the tail, starting outside the top 15, I think doing exactly what they needed to do. Get full distance runs, bring the car back in one peep. Baptiste, Montiero, Logan Adams, a rookie driver as well. Garciarce, Durst, Fitzgerald, Towns. Good call to just work this thing back home and make sure you can make some adjustments for tomorrow morning's race. All about getting the track time, that extra that they need to dial things in throughout the year. Lockie Hughes, though, will be happy with this win for him, holding off Christian Brooks in a couple of major runs. Again, right to the time limit here for the drivers in USF Pro 2000. And I was a little surprised. I think I knew there was going to be a couple of incidents, but knowing with the fact that they had gone clean and green through both practice and qualifying, I'd hoped for maybe a cleaner run, a number of cautions slowing the action here. But we will see Lockie Hughes, Christian Brooks, and Liam Skeets back up here. Quinn Armstrong, what do you think? Let's wrap up with you. D-Force USF 2000 driver. You're back on track this afternoon at 4:55. That was a wild one.
Yeah, that's probably a good word to use to describe it. I don't really think I could beat that. Look, it's a big field. It's always going to happen. There's a lot of rookies as well, so And as you say, some of them first time on a street course. So it happens. I think from the incidents, definitely maximized the track time thanks to the safety crew. But yeah, definitely would have liked to have seen more of a race. But hey, it's part of it. We'll see how they go tomorrow. Hopefully everyone learns something. I mean, as I said, it's back to learning.
We've talked about learning the entire time. Hopefully they can learn from this run,
Of course. There's always something to learn, whether you've just won like Lockie has or, whether you're in the back or you may have had an incident. So here he is pulling up. I'm sure he would be pretty over the moon.
Yeah, he's going to be pretty pumped when he gets out of here. We'll do that for a second. Then we're going to come back and chat with you just to cap things off. Here's Lockie Hughes. He won a number of races last year, as I said, folks. Indeed, here at St. Petersburg as well, but he has started the season off with a victory, and he is pumped. Turn 3 Motorsports. Peter and Mandy Dempsey will be thrilled with this as well. There's Peter right there. Great way to start the season for Turn 3. Lockie Hughes, the Australian, scoring the race win. Let's wrap things up with you, Quinn. Obviously, you're back at it here this afternoon at 4:45. Australian driver who needs support. You want to keep racing. You want to get back here and run the entire program this year. Hopefully people step up and get behind you. But if they want to follow you on social media, how do they do it?
Yeah, so I have an Instagram. That's really a good way. It's Quinn_Armstrong_. That's one of the many ways to find me. I also have a website. So if you just type up Quinn Armstrong Racing, there's ways to get in contact there because, we're really pushing hard to get this whole championship going because this is what I come here to do. I come here to race, and I come here to do well in it. So thank you, Rob.
Thank you very much, man. Quinn Armstrong, second last year in the USF Juniors program, 8th yesterday in his debut in USF 2000. He'll be back at it this afternoon. Well-spoken young man, and fantastic to have him in the booth. Great job by Quinn, providing a lot of great insight here. And we really worked him hard with all the yellows that we had, no doubt about that. But again, drivers out of the cars here, the top 3 will come and work their way over here to join us before we go into the victory podium. And again, an opportunity to celebrate the successes of Lockie Hughes. Fantastic run for Lockie here in Turn 3 Motorsports as they're able to get their first win here of the 2024 season. Well, Todd, that was a wild one. I know you stood in the back. Todd Lewis, again, the voice of the event, joining us here. A lot of great racing and a wild one for sure.
Oh, yeah, this is absolutely the opposite of what we saw in USF Pro 2000 in terms of their practice and qualifying. It was green absolutely all the way through, everybody behaving themselves. But, again, aggression comes out during the races. Great job by Rob Howden and Quinn Hughes calling that USF Pro 2000 race an exciting run, and lots more action to come here this afternoon up on the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, presented by RP Funding. But again, USF Pro 2000 again tomorrow morning, but more USF 2000 this afternoon.
Yeah, still more racing to come. The USF 2000 drivers will wrap up their program, of course, this afternoon at 4:55. USF Pro 2000 back at it. There are a couple drivers that have work to do on their cars, so that teams are going to be busy. They're back at it tomorrow at 8 o'clock, folks. We are up against the schedule here, so we're not going to be able to stream our podium live here on the USF Pro Championships channels. We want to thank you so much for tuning in, folks. We do appreciate it. Lots more racing to come. As we said, we're back at it this afternoon, 4:55 for USF 2000. On behalf of Quinn Armstrong, who did such a great job, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.